Welcome to Streaming News Network by Claude McDaniel. Please like and subscribe.
This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Republican lawmakers in California are calling for a special legislative session to investigate what they describe as widespread fraud in state-funded programs. Members of the California State Assembly Republican caucus say new estimates suggest as much as $180 billion may have been lost to fraud and improper payments across various government initiatives. Assemblymember Carl DeMaio stated that fraudulent spending is contributing to financial strain on residents, arguing that funds intended for public services are being diverted. Lawmakers have formally urged Gavin Newsom to convene a special session to examine the issue, strengthen oversight, and pursue recovery of taxpayer dollars. Officials say particular concerns include programs tied to homelessness services, as well as alleged abuses involving hospice care and sober living facilities. The governor's office has not yet announced whether it will move forward with the request. This is Streaming News Network. Authorities in Virginia are investigating a tragic incident involving a former state official and his family. Police say Justin Fairfax and his wife, Serena Fairfax, were found dead inside their Fairfax County home in what investigators describe as an apparent murder-suicide. According to officials, the incident occurred shortly after midnight, when Fairfax allegedly shot his wife multiple times before taking his own life. The couple's teenage child contacted emergency services, and officers arrived within minutes, but both individuals were pronounced dead at the scene. Authorities say the couple had been undergoing divorce proceedings at the time. Fairfax, a former federal prosecutor, served as lieutenant governor of Virginia beginning in 2017. His political career later faced controversy following allegations of misconduct, which he denied. The investigation remains ongoing, though officials say there is no indication of a broader threat to the public. This is Streaming News Network. A new report is raising questions about how taxpayer-funded healthcare programs are being used in California. According to findings highlighted by City Journal, some homeless shelters in San Francisco are working with state-supported programs to provide access to gender-related medical treatments for residents. The report focuses on facilities such as St. Vincent Delaware Paul MSC South, which operates under a city contract to house individuals experiencing homelessness. Officials say patients enrolled in Medi-Cal may receive a range of medical services, including what is commonly referred to as gender-affirming care, depending on eligibility. State representatives have defended the policy, stating that Medi-Cal provides equal access to healthcare services for all qualifying participants, regardless of immigration status. The report has sparked debate over public spending priorities, healthcare access, and oversight of social service programs. No official changes to the program have been announced, and the issue remains part of a broader policy discussion. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Florida has enacted new legislation aimed at strengthening legal and security protections across the state. Governor Ron DeSantis has signed House Bill 1471 into law, a measure that reinforces the use of United States constitutional law in Florida courts and limits the application of certain foreign or religious legal standards when they conflict with constitutional rights. The law also expands the state's authority to address security concerns by enhancing tools to identify and restrict organizations designated as terrorist groups. Under the measure, state officials may recommend designations for domestic groups, while also enforcing federal determinations involving foreign terrorist organizations. The legislation further restricts public funding and institutional support for any group identified under those categories, including within educational systems. State leaders say the law is intended to protect public safety, ensure legal consistency, and prevent outside influence on state institutions. This is Streaming News Network. New developments are emerging from the intelligence community involving actions tied to the 2019 impeachment of Donald Trump. The office of Tulsi Gabbard has reportedly referred at least 2 former intelligence officials to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution. Among those referenced is former Inspector General Michael Atkinson, in connection with how a whistleblower complaint regarding a 2019 phone call between President Trump and Volodymyr Zelensky was handled and shared with Congress. Officials say the referrals cite possible procedural violations and raise questions about communications with lawmakers at the time. A spokesperson confirmed that the referrals involve one or more former intelligence community employees and are now under review by the Justice Department. No charges have been filed, and the matter remains under investigation. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Authorities in Houston are investigating a shooting that left a young woman seriously injured outside her home. The Harris County Sheriff's Office says the incident occurred late in the evening as the 19-year-old victim returned from a church service. Investigators allege that Emmanuel Marin, age 24, confronted the woman outside her residence. During the encounter, she attempted to flee before shots were fired, striking her in the shoulder. The victim was transported to a hospital and underwent emergency surgery. She is expected to recover. Officials say the woman's boyfriend witnessed the incident and used his vehicle to strike the suspect in an effort to stop the attack. Marin was treated for injuries and later taken into custody. He now faces charges including aggravated assault with a deadly weapon and burglary with intent to commit a felony. Authorities say the suspect had prior contact with the victim's church and had been asked to stay away. The investigation remains ongoing. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Questions about fast food quality are once again in the spotlight, this time involving McDonald's. The global restaurant chain has faced long-standing claims online that its burgers do not decompose, fueling speculation about preservatives and food safety. One widely circulated example involved a hamburger reportedly kept for years with little visible change, prompting debate about how the food is made and stored. McDonald's has responded to those claims, stating that its burgers can, in fact, break down under the right conditions. The company says the appearance of long-lasting food is due to dehydration during the cooking process, which reduces moisture and prevents mold growth in dry environments. According to the company, its beef patties do not contain added preservatives or fillers. Experts note that similar preservation effects can occur with many foods when moisture is removed, effectively slowing decomposition. The discussion continues to highlight broader concerns about food processing and consumer perception in the fast food industry. This is Claude McDaniel with Streaming News Network. Convenience store giant 7-Eleven is planning a significant reduction in its North American footprint. Parent company 7-I Holdings announced it will close 645 locations across the United States and Canada during its 2026 fiscal years. The move marks the fifth consecutive year of store reductions for the company. Officials say the decision comes amid shifting consumer spending patterns, with inflation continuing to impact lower-income households and reduce discretionary purchases. Despite the closures, more than 13,000 7-Eleven locations will remain in operation across North America. The company says it is adjusting its strategy to reflect changing economic conditions and customer behavior. Tourism in Las Vegas is showing signs of decline, according to new figures from the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Officials report that approximately 38.5 million visitors traveled to the city last year, marking a 7.5% drop compared to the previous year. Despite the overall decline, some businesses are still seeing strong performance. Rick Harrison, owner of the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop, says his business recorded unusually high traffic in the early months of this year. Harrison attributes that success to competitive pricing and customer experience, noting that visitors have more choices and are increasingly sensitive to rising costs. He also pointed to select venues, including Circa Resort and Casino, as examples of properties maintaining strong crowds by keeping prices more accessible. Industry observers say higher costs for hotels, dining, and entertainment may be contributing to the broader slowdown in tourism. This was Claude McDaniel for Streaming News Network.
Thank you for listening to Streaming News Network videos and shorts. Please like and subscribe to our news channel.